Welcome to Phil and Bob's Treehouse.
The Central Park trees covered in snow. Over the Hudson, the sunset glow. The smell of halal and jasmine rice. A creep on the corner, don't look so nice. Now he's pooping, why I don't know. Life's full of mysteries, now it's time for the show.
Hi, I'm Phil.
Hi, I'm Bob.
We live in New York City, home to the highlights, the lowlights, and everything in between. This is our take on the human carnival. Hello, Bob.
Hello, Phil.
How are you?
I'm doing okay.
Nice weather today.
Yes.
Spring is sprung.
Yes.
Daylight saving.
Yep, we moved the clocks ahead.
Yes. What did you do with that? We lost. I was going to say that extra hour, but
No,
you
we
lose.
lost the hour.
Yes.
Yep. So.
An hour vanished into nothingness.
Yeah, it made me contemplate death and just the passage of time.
Yes. That daylight savings has that impact.
Yeah, it took an hour away from our lives.
We're an hour closer to the grave.
Yeah.
And yet here we are still chugging along
Yeah.
on the old podcast.
We're going to podcast till the end of the world. If there was a comet coming, there's really no place I'd rather be than sitting behind your second kitchen here in this little sewing room.
Yeah. What do we have to discuss today?
I really have nothing.
Oh.
I need you to carry this episode.
Okay, yeah. I had a...
But we're still splitting the revenue from this episode, 50-50.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
I was thinking, I was motivated. I came up with not a theory of life, but an attitude. I think there's an attitude which I think everyone would benefit from.
Okay.
As you go about your life. And this was made clear to me recently, and I am guilty. I am not an expert at it.
At life?
No. And definitely not this attitude. The basic attitude, though, I think, which is like, I think it is best not to dwell on the negative.
That is...
And move on and turn the page and move on to your next chapter 2. And I think if someone can master that, I think that might be like sort of like the Buddhist thing. If that may be the key, that attitude may be the key to a healthy outlook.
Let it be.
Let it be.
Yeah.
I was thinking this because, and I won't get personal too much, but I was my sister-in-law.
Your wife's sister?
Yes.
Okay. Not your brother's wife.
No, because I don't talk to her on the phone. The one who goes to the Met all the time.
Yep.
But my wife talks to her sister frequently. And over the past decades that I have known my wife, I would say 83% chance when the phone rings, this is the pattern. It's like, it's fine for 10 minutes and sociable and it's casual. I will give you, there's an 83% chance.
Yep.
It will turn into fucking chaos in 23 minutes. So, and screaming. If not screaming, then if you were like around the corner and you heard someone standing on the street talking, you'd be like, what are they fighting about? Like, you know? So that's most of the phone calls go that way.
Yeah. I feel like sisters stay in touch a lot.
As possible.
My mom has 3 sisters and...
they stay in touch?
Yeah, and the one that lives kind of near us,
Yeah.
those 2 are thick as thieves.
That's
My mom and her youngest sister.
Well, do they fight?
They don't seem to fight. They're really close.
Yeah.
My mom is the oldest, and she like took care of everybody.
Yeah.
Because my grandfather was he was a bit of a philanderer.
Okay.
And,
Ooh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could tell many stories about him, but
Yeah.
I guess I'll wait until my mom passes.
And then you just...
I have some these are like
Really?
could be turned into Netflix stories.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, maybe you should approach Netflix.
Yeah, he lived a life. I'll just tease that.
Well, have you considered packaging it putting it into a package and going to Hollywood?
I might get into the pictures, but I don't mean to.
Oh no, it's fine.
To steer you off course.
No, but the only thing is that I noticed this because I was listening to yet again another one of these conversations over the weekend, occurring in the other room. And it's literally like the issue. The thing is that the issues don't change. Mm-hmm. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the things that the issues that are being argued over, mm-hmm. like she's having some marital problems. Let's put it that way.
So you're just putting this on blast to our thousands of listeners.
Well, who cares?
Yeah.
And then it got craziness going on. Like she literally got recorded. She recorded the husband.
Estranged husband?
Estranged husband. He came over, I guess, to pick up the kids. Mm-hmm. And I guess they have a handoff thing, which, but then he goes in the house and inevitably there's conflict. And so I guess the other day I think she's done this before, like just surreptitiously turns the recording thing on the phone on.
The voice recorder
and records it. And then she, of course, emailed that to my wife. And so I listened to like a few minutes of it, and I was like, "Oh God, this is just so depressing." Like the arguing in the house, and then she's like, "And you know, I'm recording this." And then he stops in they're sort of like quarreling.
Yeah. And
he's like, "Oh, you are really?" And he goes, "You can see you can hear him go over." He picks up the phone. I guess he's like, "Oh, I see now." And then there's another like 15 minutes of stuff. But apparently, it's like I didn't listen to the whole thing. I don't want to hear it, but.
I'm surprised he didn't just delete it if he picked up the phone.
It's the whole thing's insane. And I was like, first of all, this is not a way to, I don't think, conduct a situation. But I was thinking that the fact is that if it weren't for this, like, it's not even the relationship. It's the issues in general haven't changed. And I think that the problem is that the dwelling is the issue.
They dwell on each other's faults,
and then it's just the past, and then childhood, and I went to I had therapy Thursday last week, and I mentioned this to my therapist, and she was like, I guess the Freudians, they go in. The idea is you delve into your past. And I was like, that doesn't sound good because of this situation. I don't think it's good to dwell on stuff. She's like, well, it's how you go into the past and then you like learn how best to deal with it in the present day, right? And then it was reminded, I thought of that David Foster Wallace. He wrote the thing about, I think he had I learned the most from this essay of his. Do you know that he had the thing about tennis? He wrote a lot about tennis.
Yeah, he was a champion tennis
player. And he wrote in one of his essays about Tracy Austin, the tennis star. And I guess what made her stand out was like she would mess up and, a double fault or something. And she was like a child star.
Yep.
And so there's a lot of pressure on her, obviously. But she would overcome it. She had the ability, I guess, to just like ignore the double fault or like the problem and then move on to the next point. You know what I'm saying?
I think that's interesting. In the NFL, they say that cornerbacks, the people that cover the wide receivers, they have to have a short memory because
it's
they can
insane.
get burned on one play. But they say the best ones just forget it and rebound the next play.
Can you imagine like you're playing the Super Bowl and then you get burned for a quarter? Like the stakes are fucking high.
I know.
And then you get burned you got to be able to like just literally just forget.
Yeah.
What just happened. Like Tom Brady throws an interception, whoever it is, you just have to forget what just happened and move on.
Interestingly enough, in the world of high finance, same thing. You have to be
I would imagine.
You've got to be a cold-blooded trader. You can't look at, sunk cost, your losses to date.
Yeah.
You just have to make the decision at this point. So market tanks 10%.
Yeah.
You're long and wrong.
Yeah.
And you're at that moment, you can't think about where you used to be.
Right.
You mark to market, and then you say, at this point, am I long or do I just cut my losses?
Yeah.
And they say the best traders are the ones that can make that decision dispassionately.
Yeah, you can't. You have to have an ability to just immediately shift gears.
Yes.
And not let something happen 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Because I guess the market is similar to sports. It's like a lot of events. And ups and downs.
A lot of volatility.
Yeah, a lot of volatility. And it's how to deal with that shit.
Yeah.
And so my therapist again.
Yeah.
I noted this on Jeopardy. This seems to happen.
Yeah.
Like someone will be on a streak and answering a lot of questions and then gets one wrong.
Yeah.
And then just is like silent for like 10 minutes because they get in their
own head. Yeah.
So maybe I didn't notice it. I didn't occur to me, but like I guess maybe Jeopardy too, because that's instant high and low.
Yep.
You're right or you're wrong.
Yep.
You have to just rebound from the shit answer.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, that's why I think gambling gets a bad rap, but I think gambling,
Yeah.
whether it's blackjack,
Yeah.
poker,
Right.
or sports gambling, has made me a better thinker. It's made me think more probabilistically.
Right.
And you have to, if you contain your emotions in all those different ventures, you do better.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Because
I think kids should start gambling, or they should teach gambling as soon as possible. Yeah,
right.
In schools, this is much. It's an applied mathematics that is much more fun.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
And we'll get through to the children of America because we are having a STEM crisis right now.
Right, yes.
Science, technology, engineering, mathematics.
Well, I think there might be lessons, in gambling. On how to recover from, like I said, this, how to deal with highs and lows.
Yes.
The answer is clearly not to just sink everything.
Yeah, keep doubling down.
Doubling down.
or bet it all on black at the end of the night.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I guess you have to have a little self-discipline. But anyway, this is my point. Circling back to the phone calls and the sister-in-law nonsense and like whatever. I think dwelling on your current and the roots of your current problems is not the answer.
Yeah.
In my view, if you can treat life, and I am not an expert at this, and I'm not good at either, treat life as if you were an NFL cornerback, for instance. Yep. You may, or a champion tennis player, or a gambler.
Yep.
Or
Stevie Cohen,
the Mets owner.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's probably good at that stuff.
Yeah.
It's probably not good for. It might not be good for like close relationships and in other arenas because it's probably probably tend to be like a very compartmentalized,
right, and
like
not very
robotic,
not very warm.
No, not a very warm human.
So
it's like the anti-emotion.
Yeah, because if you get too good at it, then you become Vulcan, like Spock.
This is good. I'm moving on. Yeah, this didn't work out.
Yes, be like, you do not love me. I will pack my bags and leave. Thank you for the last 15 years.
If you split everything down into the pros and the cons, and you just
Yeah.
But anyway, that's my life prescription.
Yes, I've weighed the pros and cons. I'm moving to Las Vegas.
Moving to Las Vegas. Anything else on this topic?
Just you gotta don't dwell on the negative. You gotta move on.
Dwell on the negative. Accentuate the positive, as they say in
that's wise words. Easier said than done, though.
Yeah, easier said than done, and that's it.
Okay.
Sunday morning brings the dawn in. It's just a restless feeling by my side. Early dawning, Sunday morning.
Bob.
Cool.
I went to the drugstore yesterday.
Okay, just for like condoms or something, or
no,
or a prescription or something.
Band-Aids.
Okay.
Yeah, I was cooking something, and I was grating potatoes.
Oh,
and
you grated your knuckle.
I grated my knuckle.
That's my worst fear.
And the thing is, one of those cuts that just like didn't stop bleeding. You know what I'm saying? And I was just like, I'm sure it got into the potato, but it was like, so I was like, I have no Band-Aids. Yeah. So I left the apartment and I walked around the corner to the drugstore. Mm-hmm. And there's a little old not too many left, like independent drugstore, like not a CVS.
Not a Walgreens. Okay.
No, there's the CVS is actually farther. It's like a few blocks away. This is like a little old like mom and pop place across the street, which although it sounds charming, is that those kind of places are kind of annoying sometimes because it's like tiny and like packed with shit, and doesn't seem to be any order to anything.
Yeah.
And like the lady, if there's one person ahead of you, you're there for half an hour.
Yeah.
Because everything's so slow.
Do they have a pharmacy there?
Yeah, they have pharmacy.
Wow.
And they have these two guys in the back, and it smells like an old timey pharmacy.
Yep.
I mean, it's like the size of a closet.
Yep.
And the woman who works behind the cash register, she's clearly definitely in her 80s. And I'm not sure she's Asian. I think she's Asian.
Okay.
Or she just may just have Asian-y features. Okay. It's one of the great mysteries.
Okay.
And she has sort of a puffy face and like a lot of like makeup on. You know, there's like old women sometimes just like really like cake on the makeup, like that white foundation-y kind of stuff. Yeah. Anyway, and she just sits there all day. And anyway, so as my thumb was bleeding profusely as I walked around the corner to this store, holding I took like a whole sheets of like Bounty, and I'm just like trying to like staunch the bleeding. So I walk in, and not only is there someone like crammed in there by the register talking to the old lady, but it's like literally a woman who's like even older. Yeah. Who has like, it's like a cart with like an oxygen tube, like to her like nose into like the tank that's in her shopping cart. Yeah. And I was like, first of all, that aisle is so narrow in here. Like I'm gonna have to like leave in order to let her leave, but I'm gonna be here forever. And I walked in there and I was waiting there for 10 minutes for the Band-Aid situation. And the old lady was like discussing her prescriptions and like, how many milligrams of like, whatever people take at that, who knows, that she takes. And she's been living in this neighborhood for 60 years. And like, what are these little candies on the counter and, that kind of stuff. It was a whole dialogue.
Did you knock her down?
I felt like, you get it's annoying, but I didn't feel it.
It was an old lady.
It was an old lady, so I didn't really know what to do. But then luckily the pharmacist came from around his little, he stands in like a little corner doing his like prescriptions. And he helped me out, and I got a Band-Aid, and I solved the problem. And but I was thinking as I came home, I told my wife, I said I saw my future, which is
you were the lady with the oxygen tank?
Wandering the neighborhood in an oxygen tank. And I see my future around this neighborhood a lot. My old neighborhood didn't have as many old people. Let's put it this way. Yeah. Like there's a Gristedes that I go to. It was less residential. This neighborhood is more residential, and a lot of old people. And I go to at the Gristedes, and they're old, and what they're getting in their carts is like old people food and stuff.
What's old people food?
I don't know, like it's a combination. Either it could be frozen stuff or
bologna.
Bologna. I just imagine that they're probably all super happy, but I just imagine the most depressing scenario. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And they not walking great. A lot of walkers. And there's one neighborhood. One restaurant a block away. We went to. Actually, no, I'd never been to until last week. We were invited at the last minute, Saturday night. Yeah. And it's noted for, like, I walk by there and it's like old people. Yeah. Neighborhood old folks.
Well, which restaurant?
Knickerbocker
Grill?
Yeah, it's like right here.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like you could look in it looks like it looks like that it could be the restaurant at like a nursing home. Yeah. And like
Isn't that like a steak place?
It's a steak place, but it's like it's okay. Yeah. But it's like it smells like inside. Yeah. You know what I don't like about restaurants that have rugs, first of all? Yeah. That's a big thing for me. Yeah. Because I don't think it's hygienic necessarily. No. And I feel like they absorb like crumbs and like grossness, and it just smelled like an old piece of like salmon. Yeah, like just like an old, and the food.
But that's been around a long time.
Been around a long time, and yes, and the clientele that evening was pretty ancient. Yeah, and a lot of like navy bean soup and stuff like that, like French onion soup.
It's like a moderately priced steakhouse, right?
It's not that expensive. It's a big menu. Yeah, but everything is like it's a lot of soup. Yep, and steak.
Did you get a steak?
I got a steak, which is fine.
What kind of cut?
I think T-bone. I don't know. I think I shared it. But anyway, that's my experience with aging and old people, and and slowness and pace.
Well, you shouldn't really need an oxygen tank though in your old age. I don't think that's in your future necessarily.
Yeah, but just a lot of just everything moves slower. Like I do see people at my gym. I'm definitely one of the older folks, but I see people older than me, and they're just moving slowly up the stairs, and the workouts take longer, and death is around the corner.
Yeah. Although I guess, we're still on, I think, the sprier side.
Yeah, not bad. Could be worse.
Could be worse.
I mean, I went to my high school reunion last year, and I saw people who looked worse.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So-
If you're not, if you're a guy, you didn't lose your hair and you're not obese.
Yeah, those are two big things.
You're in the top third right there.
At least for appearance.
I've dodged those two.
I mean, you could be like a disaster inside. Like your organs could be failing.
Yeah.
But like the hair and the weight.
Yeah.
Is definitely.
Yeah. So I have to say though, I went to my high school reunion I don't know, it was like my 30th or something.
Yeah.
Not too many people had gotten fat, I'd have to say.
Yeah, no, people look all right. But especially though, if the last time you saw some guy, he was like 18.
Yeah.
And now it's there's going to be changes.
Yeah.
But if it's really like a stark difference, then you're like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah. No, there's only one guy that was had blown up. Everybody else looked reasonably in shape.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. So.
And moving on.
Yep.
And
guess we'll discuss that more, but we're really turning off our audience.
Well, no, this is good for the geriatric audience.
Yeah.
That we have.
Well, I mean, I feel like I kind of have to say, last episode, I discussed the postmenopausal female crowd at the home goods store.
Oh, yeah.
So I didn't mean to suggest. I mean, I guess maybe if there was menopause, we might be in it too. We're in the if there was male menopause.
Male menopause.
Yeah, I don't know what the symptoms are necessarily, but
desirability.
Yeah.
Fortitude.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's my little story about going to this drugstore. And by the way, what do you think about the CVS versus MAPA organizations?
I didn't even know there were mom and pop pharmacies around still. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
I think my parents, there's a MAPA pharmacy that they use in their neighborhood that was there when I was like a kid and it's still there.
Yeah. Old people do that. They just don't want to switch. So.
And the thing is also that the problem also those is they don't have good hours either. It's not like CVS is I mean, it's manned by people are just aren't they open forever constantly?
Yeah.
They're not adaptable, but that's MAPA organizations.
Okay. Save the small business.
Save the small business. Okay.
Caught between the twisted stars, the plotted lines, the faulty map that brought Columbus to New York. Between the east and west, he calls on her wearing a leather vest. The earth squeals and shudders to a halt. A diamond crucifix in his ear is used to help ward off the fear that he has left his soul in someone's rented car. Inside his pants he hides a mop to clean the mess that he has dropped into the life of lithesome Juliet Bell. And Romeo wanted Juliet, and Juliet wanted Romeo, and Romeo wanted Juliet.
Bob, have you seen any movies recently?
No, except I went to the BAM.
The Brooklyn Academy of Music?
Yes.
That's very cultured of you.
I know. I'm a cultured man. Mostly in my free time, I discuss art and politics. In this case, I went to the BAM movie theater.
Yes.
And they have a thing every year just before the Oscars where they show the 5 nominees, they stitch it together in one sitting. You watch the 5 nominees for Best Short Film.
Yes.
So I watched the 5 nominees for Best Short Film.
What if, how long are each one of these films?
Each is 20 minutes or so.
Were they good?
They were good.
Where would you even see these initially?
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't know, maybe you only can see it in that setting where somebody aggregates them.
Movies?
Yeah, these are fictional. It's not short documentary. It's short, actual.
Like a short story or something
it's
versus a novel.
Yep.
So what sort of topics were these on?
The first one was about the Bosnia conflict in the 90s.
Yeah.
The second,
I'm an expert in that.
The second one was
Did they talk about the butcher of? Was that the one that had the butcher, the biatch guy?
Yeah, Biatch and Srebrenica. Yeah. The second one was I called it Slumdog Millionaire meets Goodwill Hunting. It was about a young girl who worked in a child labor factory in India who was really smart. The third one was produced by Netflix. That's the one that won. I thought that was clearly the worst. It was about a woman who discovers that she's a robot.
Okay.
It was silly.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to try to remember the other ones. Oh, there was one about protecting rhinos from poachers.
These sound like the documentaries.
I know, but it was fiction.
Okay.
And then the last one I can't remember right now.
And was it one of those things where like the director shows up for question and answers or something like that?
No, it was just watch them and leave.
Well, that sounds very culturally forward of you.
I felt very superior to other people I met.
You should.
On the street. Yeah.
You should. What did you do today?
Yeah. We went out and before the movie we went to Middle Eastern restaurant.
Oh, that's super culturally of you.
Yes. So we went to, and it was delicious. I had the shish kebab.
Was it a mixed grill?
No, I did chicken.
Yes.
My current girlfriend of 13 years did the lamb kefta kebab. It comes with rice and salad.
Yes.
It's really good. And we had stuffed grape leaves to start. So we pigged out.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Once in a while, the movie. Sometimes you do. It is very culturally superior to go to one of those films. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I go to the IFC film theater around here on 6th Avenue. They show, I guess, sort of independent kind of things.
Yep.
I like the selection. The theater very dirty though.
It looks it's in a very busy area.
It's a very dirty and busy area. But I did see speaking of the Academy Awards, I did watch the movie that won the Best Picture on TV. It is called Anora.
Yes, I haven't seen it.
Which I liked.
Mm-hmm.
And but I actually have seen that guy's movies before, some of his other movies. And they're kind of like, they're not documentaries, but this one is more the most actual, like a real movie. The other ones are kind of like, they have a little documentary feel. Like not a lot happens, and they're always about like sort of like fringy, marginal characters.
Those are the most interesting.
And like they had the one called Takeout. He follows like a Chinese delivery guy in Chinatown on his rounds. Basically, that's it.
Is that a documentary? Or
It's a movie. It's fiction. Not a lot happens, and it always involves like they're always in debt. And they're talking about debt and how they're going to get people over and send money home and whatever. But basically, the structure of it is like the guy's day, like driving orders around on his bike and in the rain and all this bullshit. And then this other one, Prince of Broadway, same idea, but it was a Nigerian like fake bag seller in Midtown somewhere.
So this guy is exploiting. He's a tourist.
He's a
poverty tourist.
Poverty tourist.
Yeah,
I've never heard that angle.
Yeah,
and this Anora thing is about like strippers in Brighton Beach.
It's always. I bet this kid went to fucking Kenyon College.
Probably from the fancy neighborhood.
He went to a fancy prep school and then a fancy liberal arts college.
He's a ghetto tourist.
Yeah. Kenyon or Bard or Hampshire. Guaranteed.
I've never heard that take, and yet you may be right.
Yeah, he didn't go to Harvard, though. If he went to Harvard, he'd be like Matt Damon.
But I was saying that, my wife, she liked Anora. I don't know if she liked the other ones, but they're a little bit of a harder sell because not a ton happens.
Yeah.
But, another movie that I kind of like those movies where you can just like sit there and just like not expect massive plot.
Yeah.
Like, did I know if we mentioned this food documentary I saw last year? It was 4 hours. And it was
that actually it sounds literally like torture. You would have to pay me to do that. How dare you?
Yeah,
spend 4 hours.
No, it was long. I liked it. I saw it in the movie theater, and you have to sort of sit there. It was about a fancy French restaurant in France, in the countryside. It's a documentary.
Was it a Michelin-starred restaurant?
Yeah, it's like apparently it's like a super like 3-star Michelin, and the guy just filmed like the process of like the evening service, and then you would go to like the farms and the vineyards and all that stuff and talk to the farmers, and it was a long movie. And I went there. My wife left after hour 2. And and then I really liked it so much. I went again, and I took my kid who was 11, and she lasted about 10 minutes.
So you had to leave together?
Yeah.
Was she like, Dad, I really can't do this?
Yeah, she knew it. She was like, I'm not staying here.
Really?
But I was like, oh, you wait till the very end. There's a whole fascinating.
She couldn't make it
dinner time past the dinner service. Like, when they're talking about the scallops and this, like they had. There's a whole big thing where the chef is eating the scallops in passion fruit sauce, which sounds kind of weird to me. But anyway. I kind of like just sitting there and like letting the movie go, you know?
Yeah. I don't know. It's funny that it's not because I was cultured and went to see the Oscar-nominated shorts, but separately, I was on Apple TV.
Yeah.
And I saw like one day the #1 movie. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to try this.
Okay. Oh, okay. In America?
Yeah. And it made me feel like as a society, we've hit rock bottom. I'm going to quickly just...
I get it. I know what you're talking about.
I'm going to give you the plot to this movie. It's called The Gorge.
And I mean, I get what you're saying. I know, like, you literally... All you have to do is, like, see the home screen of all these like, streaming networks.
Yeah.
And you're like, fucking, people are retarded.
Right. But the plot is literally an American guy is hired secretly, like a Marine sniper.
Yeah.
And a Russian assassin girl is hired separately to man 2 separate outposts on top of a secret gorge that is covered from spy satellites that no one knows exists.
Yeah.
And they're monsters down there. Then they have guns, and they have to spend a year shooting at the monsters from either side. And then they end up falling in love with each other across the gorge.
Yes.
And they accidentally fall down into the gorge.
Okay.
And the gorge, you realize it's discovered that the monsters are because there was biological testing being done there.
Right. Yeah.
Post World War II.
Yeah.
But then there was an earthquake, so the stuff got out and created mutant monsters.
Like real monsters.
Yes.
And do you get to see the monsters?
You get to see the monsters, yeah.
Are they scary?
Yeah. And then they blow it up with a nuclear bomb.
Yeah.
And Sigourney Weaver, who plays the evil person, is killed in the blast. That I cannot believe.
Did you watch the whole movie?
I watched it to the end just because I was like,
I was committed.
I was committed. I was like, they spent millions on this, probably on the special effects.
Was it like? Did it feel like cheap CGI?
I guess it was good CGI, but I mean, you heard the plot. I mean,
oh my god.
It's unbelievable. Like, how did this movie get made?
I don't know.
And it's the most popular movie on Apple TV. It still is today, right now, I think.
Yeah, no, I mean, yes. It doesn't give you don't give you faith in a lot.
No.
In a lot across the board of human nature. If you just a little bit of sweeping up and down the streaming services.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it wasn't even good as a guilty pleasure. Like a movie like Independence Day was good. You know, it's like it's aliens, but it's fun.
Yeah.
It was like they didn't take itself too seriously.
It was just bad.
This one was just bad.
It's stupid.
Yeah. Because it was a love story, but they also were fighting the monsters.
Yes.
So sorry if this was a spoiler, but you just save your time.
Well, you made up for it by going to BAM.
Yep.
And now you can feel good about yourself.
Yeah. So.
That's culture.
Yeah, it's culture for this week.
This week's culture word. Culture notes.
Yes. Join us next week.
Okay.
You know, man, when I was a young man in high school, you believe it or not, I wanted to play football for the coach. And all those older guys, they said that he was mean and cruel, but you know, I want to play football for the coach. They said I was a little too lightweight to play linebacker, so I'm playing right end. I want to play football for the coach. Cause you know someday, man, you gotta stand up straight unless you're gonna fall. Then you're going to die. And the straightest dude I ever knew was standing right by me all the time. So I had to play football for the coach.
All right, to wrap up, Bob.
Yes.
I promised I wouldn't talk about St. John's.
But please don't. Nobody wants to hear about St. John's basketball.
But it's been a remarkable season.
Okay. Next question.
Next question. By the way, I won't talk about it again. I drove to the campus last week to buy some of their merch on campus.
What's the name of that town in Queens?
I think it's in Jamaica.
Oh, Jamaica, Queens. Yeah, that makes sense.
It's funny. It looks like 'cause when I came back and I told someone I went there, they're like, "Oh, I've never been there." And what's it like? I was like, literally, it looks like every building there looks like a condo on 3rd Avenue, like a post-war condo.
Oh, really?
On like there's nothing that's been built before like 1975.
Oh,
Yeah,
the campus building.
the campus buildings. Yeah, and it's very Catholic too.
Yep.
A lot of crosses and stuff all over the place.
St. John's.
Yeah, St. John's. And the other thing is, here's something that happened. I was at the gym, the aforementioned gym, where people are mostly younger.
Mm-hmm.
I saw for the second time in my experience there. I've only had a few celebrity sightings at their gym. You think it would be more because it's in sort of like a downtown New York.
Yep.
The fellow from Breaking Bad, the actor who plays the evil Gus Fring.
Gustavo Fring.
Gustavo.
He was the best character on the show.
Yeah, his name is Giancarlo something, I think.
Yeah, Esposito. maybe.
Esposito.
Yeah.
And I saw him like a month ago, and I was like, I've never seen him before. And I really like that show.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy fuck.
Do you think he must live in the neighborhood then?
But I've never seen him before. And then I saw him like literally the other day in the locker room in a towel. So I took a picture. I was sneaky about it.
Yeah.
I took a picture of him in the background in a mirror.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just to confirm the sighting. So that's a good sighting for me.
Yeah.
And it got me thinking about celebrity sightings in New York. You'd think that there would be like just a lot. No, I think that if you live in like, my understanding is if you live in like LA,
Yeah.
you just see celebrities all over the place.
Yeah.
Here it's just like there's so many people.
Yeah.
But I would say every like 4 months,
you see someone.
maybe less.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't know. You see someone.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
I do. I think when we were younger, or at least I was younger, I felt like maybe it was because I was going out more, but
Yeah.
I feel like I had a lot more sightings back then.
Yeah. Do you have any recollection of famous celebrity sightings?
I mean, I don't know, Alec Baldwin in a restaurant.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
at.
Yeah, I see him around sometimes.
This is going way back. Wade Boggs.
That's a good one.
At a bar.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a funny one. Yeah.
I like the ones that are like, it was like, if there's people that are like not, like no one would really know,
Yeah.
not recognizable, but like you just saw them in the Post like the other day because they were arrested for like fucking grand larceny.
Yeah.
Some white collar.
Oh, yeah. You know, in New York, sometimes you get good ones. I met the guy that was Stormy Daniels' lawyer.
Oh, I saw him.
Yeah.
Not Michael Cohen.
No.
Oh, no. I saw Michael Cohen though on the street.
Yeah, no, this Stormy Daniels'
Oh,
lawyer.
Avenatti?
Yeah, Michael Avenatti. He's in jail now.
Yeah, he's in jail.
Yeah.
You saw him?
Yeah, I have a picture with him
Where'd you see him?
at a bar in Midtown.
That's insane.
Yeah. So
You took a picture with him?
yeah, because it was like it was like a work event, and there were a bunch of people from the office, and
Yeah.
then we ran into him, and
This was pre his jail.
yeah, pre his
jailing.
jail time, yeah. So, but I feel like that's like a good New York sign because someone who's not like really, he's not a celebrity,
Yeah.
he's just a notorious kind of.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'd rather see him than like Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
You know, or I saw, although I did have a good one. I think I saw, same kind of idea. That guy used to be the head of the stock exchange. This was years ago.
Oh, Grasso?
Grasso, when he was indicted, I think. I think it was like literally the day after he was indicted. But I did see Michael Cohen on the street once. And Lennox Lewis.
Okay.
That was a long time ago too. I don't like bothering these people.
Yeah.
But I did walk past him, and then this was years ago. I was with my son, and I was like, "This fucking Lennox Lewis." He didn't know who he was.
Yeah.
But I was like, he's like, "You should run after him." He was walking down Broadway, sucking on a lollipop.
Oh, really?
He's huge.
Isn't he British?
Yeah, he's British, and he's fucking huge.
Yeah.
I mean, he's probably like 6'5", like 250.
Yeah.
And he's like, you should run. We ran after him.
Oh, really?
And then we stopped. We took a picture. He shook his hand. He's huge hands.
Yeah. I guess you know who must have lived in my neighborhood is Gabriel Byrne, because I used to see him a lot maybe 10 years ago.
Yes.
And then also Mike Myers. I think he lives downtown.
Oh, I used to see him once in a while too.
Yeah, he must live downtown.
Yeah.
And Steve Nash for a while.
No, that's a good one.
Yeah, former point guard for the Phoenix.
Wait, but he would.
Suns.
Maybe that's when he was doing the Nets, or was he when?
No,
he was
this
involved
was
with the
like I
Nets?
feel like this was also like 10 years ago. Again, when I was going out more. Now, I just right now I'm just, as I said, I talk mostly about art and politics and go see movies at the BAM.
That's all beneath you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Popular culture is beneath me.
Yeah.
Oh, and once I was on a bicycle and I rode past Keanu Reeves coming out of the Bowery Hotel.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah. No, aside from Gustavo, I haven't had many.
No, recently? None.
No.
Nothing.
Let me think. No. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I'm gonna try to now just go out more and see more people.
You think I get? But now it would just be like influencers or like.
I know. I mean, yeah. It's like, do we sound like idiots here? It's not like we go up and ask for autographs, or you did with Lennox Lewis.
I did with Lennox Lewis. That was the only time we took a picture.
Yeah. Well, he's a sports guy, so I can understand that being.
But he's kind of like a marginal sport. It's not like he's plays for like the Knicks.
Yeah.
It's like a marginal guy.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's once I saw Joakim Noah.
No, that's a good one.
Yeah. He was. He seemed like a cool guy.
Yeah.
Like right by Prince Street.
He must. Well, if you're also, he's probably freakishly tall.
Yeah. So he was like, oh, that's Joakim Noah.
Speaking of that, I was walking on Broadway and I saw J.R. Smith.
Okay.
But I saw
recently.
Also, no, not recently. But I did see. Do you know Charlie Villanueva? You remember that guy?
No.
He played for UConn.
Oh, really?
He was a super and in the NBA.
Oh, really?
But I was actually walking on Broadway and I saw a bald head. He was like 6'11".
Yeah.
Just above the crowd.
Yeah.
And I was like, he turned around. He's a very unusual looking guy.
Yeah.
He had a sort of a very odd features, and I was like, that's Charlie Villanueva. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if I'd be excited to see anyone now.
No.
It's because I'm in male menopause. We should start doing ads for low T. I feel like that's a big market.
Yes. What do you mean for
podcast advertising?
For T replacement
Yeah,
therapies, hormone replacement.
Yeah, testosterone replacement.
Yeah.
And then like supplements. Maybe
we should just experiment on just take a bunch of shit and see what happens.
Yeah, we're discussing our spin-off channel. We'll let our listeners know later how we might have a secondary channel.
Yeah. Based all around self-experimentation of
and sexual wellness.
Sexual wellness. All right. Well, I guess we could sign off.
All right.
And
I'll see you in 3 weeks.
All right. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, that's the show, folks. Our theme song was performed by Echo Strata. He's an incredible Brooklyn-based artist creating psychedelic alternative music. Check him out on Spotify, Apple Music, and iTunes.
Central Park trees covered in snow. Over the Hudson, the sunset glow. The smell of halal and jasmine rice. Creep on the corner, don't look so nice. Now he's pooping, why I don't know. Life's full of mysteries, now it's time for the show.
That was fucking awesome!
That was all right.
Yes!